Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. This is John with Tommy's Top Picks here to bring you your weekly market update. Happy Thanksgiving to those of you who are celebrating it, primarily the U.S., I imagine, but maybe there's some military folks abroad that also celebrate it. We'll see. But if you do celebrate it, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you're enjoying your time with your family. This is coming out in the morning, so maybe you can listen to this on the way to your family gathering, or maybe you listen to it when you first wake up and you're getting your coffee before you go to the family gathering, or maybe you just don't go to a family gathering and you're staying home, keeping it chill, and you're listening to it there. Either way, I hope you enjoy the content. We got a pretty spicy one today. I wouldn't say it's crazy like the other day, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I like it. So let's jump in. Let's talk about what's happening in the markets of flesh and blood. All right, so starting off, we have ARK is up 14.9% at 108. I find this to be interesting and somewhat significant because if you recall, we've been watching this 90 to 104 channel for a long time, kind of 85 up, but definitely in the 90 to 104, bouncing back and forth over the last few months. We finally broke out of the top. We'll look at what that looks like on a chart, but this is typically called a breakout moment, if you're doing chart technical analysis sort of things. I'm not an expert on that by any stretch, but I found it interesting that we topped out above our previous resistance level. Does this mean the supply is done for? Does it mean you'll never get it below 104 again? No. Absolutely not. It just means there's upward market pressure in general, which we knew and we've been talking about. As the supply dwindles, that price is going to be pressured up and up and up, and eventually it will crack, basically all-time highs, which it did, but to a high level. Like it will have a surge up to the next kind of plateau price level where we'll bounce around within a new channel. So anyways, it looks like that is beginning, or the pressures are starting to mount, we'll say. We'll see where it is next week because it very well could revert to the mean, come back down to say 95. Well, if it's a higher low, then that's a good sign. It means that upward pressure is intact. If it's a lower low, then it means we're still in uncertain territory and it hasn't broken out fully yet. This is just a little bit of a deviation from its standard behavior. But point being, $4 above its previous all-time high, which is interesting. A 108 unlimited ARK box. That is something to get used to. I love it. All right, moving on. Tales of Aria up 22% to 61. Nothing special here. It was 61 2 weeks ago. We're just seeing that same channel bounce around, right? Like, look at this. We've seen it all the way back here. 61, 61, 50, 58, 61. That's what's happened. Still in its same area, bouncing back and forth. 20% bounces down and then 20% bounce up. Well, not exactly, because going down it's different value to work off of, but you get the idea. Unlimited case WTR 15% increase, 275, again in the same region we were before, but note that this is kind of a new area of height to be in, right? The bottom is kind of where the high was before, right? 239 was kind of the height. Now we're seeing that as the low, and 270s are the new normal. I believe we checked this before, and that is the highest ever, right? Yeah. Looks like it hit there maybe once previously. Okay, yeah, way back in the beginning. Yeah, that's right. So way back in January, it was in that range. Now we're there again. So you can look at it as the U, where you have that downward pressure and then slowly supply dwindles and you get your equilibrium back at where the hype cycle was. So that's great. That's a good thing to see. Again, WTR unlimited cases. I'm guessing the upward pressure on this is because stores are using it to draft, right? Uprising has gotten a little bit stale, so people are buying cases for their store, a few at a time, I imagine, and then cracking it every couple of weeks when they do their drafts. And maybe they do, 1 or 2 drafts a month, so they'll do it for that, and then maybe switch it up, do Tales of Aria, that sort of thing. So I imagine that's what's happening. Eventually, this will run out, similar to what was happening with ARK, but that's what I'm seeing right now. Monarch up 17% to 179. Nothing special here. This is still unlimited cases. We've seen it higher. We've seen it lower. Nothing special. Just in its mid-range. All right. Down to first editions. Nothing moved on the boxes. Like, not at all. Not even 2 points. Crazy, right? So nothing on the boxes. In the case category, we only have crew jumping 8.9% to 1685. I told you guys that this was a pretty good deal down to this 1500 range. because we'd never seen it there, and it felt like it was getting sticky. It was flatlining there. Now we're back up to 1685. So I imagine there'll be a reversion to the mean. There'll probably be some downward pressure at some point, but I'm not sure how long that lasts with the new collectors coming in. There's clearly upward pressures on the general market, so something to note. Oops, I forgot to move over my my tab of cards. Let's jump over to the cards. All right. Yeah, best selling. That's what we want. Yep. Okay, we're good. What's happening in Dynasty? This is just Dynasty. It's not everything. I figure we'll do some Dynasty since it's freshly out and everyone's kind of interested in price action around the individual cards, and then we'll jump into the whole market maybe a month or two after release. So anyways, Dynasty, Black Tech Whispers are floating at 100. It looks like useful legendaries are staying around this price, as well as the Marvels for most of the equipment, but it's worth keeping an eye on. Obviously, the cold foil is going to go for more. If I recall correctly, it's in the 180 range. Is that right? Let's see. Oh, right. Filters are different when you have it squashed. Cold foil. What do we got? 170. Okay. So 170 range for the cold foil. We'll keep an eye on that one. I think that's kind of the hot deal because everyone wants to play Assassin. Surgical Extraction. You heard Tommy and I talk about this on the podcast. It's still up, but it has come down. It was 47 before. I believe it had sales up in that range. Yeah, it did. Up to 50, it looks like. Geez, up to 60. Wow. Yeah, well, it's coming back down. It's at 45, but it's a slow reversion. So hopefully more boxes get open. There'll be more supply and it comes down. I don't know why that one's so hot. It does remove a card from hand, which is pretty nice. Maybe it just is a better value on the card basis. I don't know. Something I found interesting, the Mechanoid Standard is only $16 now. And the Emperor is only 15 for the standard rainbow foil version. So very, very affordable. I did get confirmation that there is a cold foil version. So let's go look at that. This is not fake or bad TCG player, and it's running for 40. So this is what I found interesting. This new tier with the Marvels involved, right? It puts a lot of downward pressure on cold foil. So like Crown of Dominion, a generic legendary, is only $20, which is insanely low for a generic legendary. Granted, it's not the most useful thing in the world, but it is a generic head equipment legendary, which historically have just gone through the roof, even if they weren't super, super useful. But the cold foil version, this is the part, it's only $50 already, or $46 actually. Like, that's crazy. Cold foil legendary is only $46. So this is definitely a new low tier of collectability as far as price resistance or price action. Anyone can get in on that. Anyone can collect the cold foils. They are one of a kind. They will not reprint it. That is a guarantee from LSS. So it is a collectible item. Obviously, supply is a question mark because we don't know with 2.0 like how much is in a print run, how many waves, etc. But it's all over the place. I mean, even this Bolton one, that's really good. It's $28 again for a legendary. Granted, it's a light warrior item. It's a very specific use case, niche use case. But the cold foil is not crazy either. $55. Like, cold foil's down in this range. That's new, especially in the legendary category, right? Like maybe a rare or a majestic or like the commons obviously were down in the low ranges before, but just a legendary cold foil being that low is new. The place where all the money is this Fable Command and Conquer 449. It did come down, but it's starting to go up again. I imagine it will come down again, and you'll note 449 is way above what it's currently selling at. It's selling, oh, you can't see that, shoot. I don't know how to change that. Yeah, we'll do it this way. Yeah, it's currently selling for 400 was the last sales, and it looks like that's kind of the high. Oh no, we did get a few 450, 460, but mostly it's in the 400 range for purchases. So that's kind of where the market says the price is right now. 450 is viable. People have bought it there and above, but I imagine it comes down a little bit, but it is going to be one of those things with high demand, so I'm not sure how far down it comes. I'm going to hold off. I'm going to try to do what I did last time and let it sink in the doldrums of the set when we're closer to the hype of the next set. But I'm not 100% sure that's going to work because it's a generic attack action. People want 3 of. Everyone can use it. Like, it's a very different animal than past Fables. Another item, this Angel, 449. I hope it comes down because it's gorgeous and I want one. It did just spike up immediately. They sold, it looks like 300 was the lowest sale. and then got up to 500 on a sale. I do question whether that's legitimate sale or just someone selling it to themselves sort of thing to make the price higher. I'm going to wait on this again. I think once the hype cycle dies down, especially without Prism around, right? Once the hype cycle dies down, this will be more affordable. But I don't know. This is a different world we're in. One thing I am going to do, I decided I'm going to buy the what are they called, the extended arts. I'm looking at doing that. I'm gonna have all the extended arts. Iron Song Pride I pulled that. The other two, Looming Doom, and oh shoot, what's the other one? I can't remember, but whatever the other one is, they're both in the like 30 to 50 range. So I'm just gonna buy those and put them on the shelf. I think the art is nice on them both. I like the idea of having something artistic there. I did buy some other cold foils to throw on the shelf as well. They were the Hyperdrivers and the Plasma Coil, I think it's called, and one other thing I can't remember. Maybe the Tiger. So I bought a few things to put on the shelf. I think it's a pretty good combination of things. Oh, I know what it is. It's Regicide. That's the other art, full art. So I'm getting one of those as well. Just as my decoration for the season. I may eventually grab this because I do really like this art. I am thinking about playing a Nitro Mechanoid. I know it's very much not functional as of right now. But it may be eventually. Maybe people solve it better. Maybe it's one of those things that the next set unlocks it for real. Either way, I kind of want this. I like the art. I've liked Dash for a long time. I like that she's getting really cool tech and a different play style. So I'm just going to be kind of in that world for a little bit. I'm not a big boost Dash. I never was. I played a Turtle Dash before, which I really enjoyed. So I like that control-y stuff, as you might guess by my Icelander passion. So we'll see how it all goes with the prices, but I am excited that exists, and it's not unreasonable to put on the shelf. We'll see if the price comes down though. The rest of it, the Marvels, it looks like they're floating around 100 right now. A little bit lower, a little bit higher, depending on the functionality and popularity of the class. I'm going to hold off on these. I think these are like the Dragons, in that the prices will come down eventually to a degree. I don't know if I want to wait all the way until the next set because, like the Dragons, they did kind of hit a bottom, like post-hype cycle, and then they kind of held high after that. They are the collectible item for sure, so they will be targeted by people wanting to pick up and do buyouts and things like that. Rather rare. So I will wait a while because we're still in the hype cycle, and some of this stuff is just probably going to come down, frankly. I don't think this is one of them. Yeah, it is. Yeah, okay. So you can see the prices hit a spike and are coming down. I'm going to wait until that gives me my check mark that I like to look for, that little bottom loop, and then I'll go ahead and jump on that. Might also grab this mask and cold foil because the Assassin's so iconic for the set. Anyways, that's my thoughts. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to play it by ear mostly, but kind of follow the same plan I did last time. I feel like that worked out pretty well. So let's jump in the charts. All right, WTR. We see an upward channel, but you note that the recent high is lower than the previous high. So we're not seeing something like breakout style, but this may be the new plateau, right? So we had the old plateau here. We had some kind of flatlining, and then maybe this is the new plateau. We'll see as time progresses on that arc. I did want to point this one out. Oh, geez, this sucks. Let me see if I can change this. Yeah, because I have the charts cut off too, and that's no good. All right, there we go. Oops. So you can see here that the value has started to break out. This is what I was talking about. So here's the up-down channel, right? And it was tightening, right? So this is what we call a tightening flag or whatever they call it. I don't call it. They call it that. So top is the same or lower. Bottom kind of tightens, so it gets closer to that top point, and sometimes it goes the other way. The top comes down, and then it broke out above the previous all-time high. We'll see if it holds next week. I'm guessing it won't. I'm guessing we'll see downward, and this just ends up becoming a more upward channel, which is fine. But that's what I was talking about with ARC. The rest of these are pretty boring because nothing happened. I'm pretty sure. We did see a jump on Monarch, which we talked about. Premium is way out of sorts here. So we're talking $13 arbitrage opportunity. So possible if you have discount, purchasing power or something. Yeah, the rest of these are boring because it's there is nothing else happening in unlimited. Let's go down to first. Oops, sorry. WTR, we are at below. Interesting. Interesting. So there is an ARB opportunity here of $400. If you buy a case at the current listed TCG player price, which again, I don't trust TCG player enough to buy a case for $11,000, $12,000. But if you're the type of person that can do that, you could potentially break it open and make $400 per box, selling the individual boxes right now, assuming you can get people to buy them at this price, which I think is very possible because there are sales going on. Like, people have been selling them recently. So maybe that's worth it. You know, $1,600, right? That's a thing. I'm not going to bet on that. I'm not putting my money there, but it's a thing. Let's go ahead and move on. ARC doesn't have much going on. Crew, you can see the spike that we talked about. It's jumping way up. Yeah, see how it flatlined down here? And we're talking about how this felt like it was a good bottom, very good bottom. Hope it stays here for a while, blah, blah, blah. It didn't stay very long. Jump back up. So over $100 jump in price, and then we went from an ARB opportunity of like $15 to, or no, not even $4 to, you know, to having the premium back in place. So let's see, Monarch, I kind of want to keep an eye on this one. Yeah, so here's another check mark bottom that I like to look for, but I don't trust this because it's Monarch. You got to take full context into account. You can't just follow charts based on their visual appeal. There's other factors in play here, including the fact that people hate Monarch a lot. I will say the 369, 359, think about that. That's how much it costs for a case of Dynasty now. And this is a set that's really, you know, it's aged, right? So this price range being in basically new map territory makes it very attractive to me. The cold foils are holding up fairly well. Obviously, the if you pull the Fable, it's $400. So when the box is below the price of the Fable, it seems to be a pretty good deal. Not 100% of the time, but it seems to be a pretty good deal. Anyways, moving on, Tales of Aria, same stuff as always, although it didn't drop back down, which is interesting. We'll see if it does. It does it, you know, in another week or so. If it doesn't, if we maintain here, then there is upward pressure that needs to be kept, you know, we need to keep an eye on. Everfest, still doing map things, I believe. Yeah, I think that's what's happening here. It does look like an ARB opportunity of $4 or $5, not worth it. And then Uprising is just map things. Just map things. This is, yeah, this was below map, I believe. Well, either way, no, I think this was the new map, but then it jumped up. That's right. And I was very sad because I missed my $295 buying opportunity. I'm going to hang out. I'm going to wait. I'm going to see if I can get it. Oh, no, I don't have Dynasty in here. Oh. Well, I'll add that next week. We only have a couple weeks of data, so it's not that big of a deal. But I didn't realize that it didn't populate in the dropdown. My bad, guys. Sorry about that. Anyways, if you enjoy the content, hit the like button. Leave a comment. Let me know what I suck at and what I'm good at. Obviously, adding things to dropdown is something I suck at. Hashtag John sucks at dropdowns. That's fine. Yeah, I hope you're out there cracking packs, playing games, enjoying your Thanksgiving. Maybe you're sharing Fab with a cousin or a friend or a family member that might be interested in it, and you're playing some games, maybe with the Dory vs. Rhinar starter classic battles deck, or you brought a couple of your own decks, or maybe even the Blitz precons, because they're a lot of fun to play against each other. I particularly like the Uprising pair. Yeah, I hope you're having fun. I hope you're enjoying this hobby of ours. And until next time, have a good one.